Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with us now is Chris Roach. Unless you prefer Christopher. I don't know, Christopher Roach, Chris Roach, just Roach. I don't know, but he's with us on set. He's a stand-up comedian. He's really much taller than me, so I'm not going to have him stand up.
Right.
So it's going to be sit down. Hi, how are you, my friend?
Hello, Donna. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my goodness. We met in the early 2000s.
Okay, that's right. It
At
was,
the Laugh Off.
Yes, the Huntington Laugh Off.
Yes.
There was two of them.
There were two of them. So it was my invention because I wanted, stand up in Long Island hadn't happened in a long time. There was a break, a hiatus.
Right.
I'd like to say that I'm partially responsible for the fact that comedy made a comeback on Long Island.
Well,
so did you know that?
I see it still making a comeback.
It is, right?
It really is. And it's an exciting time right now, too, with everything that's happening in the comedy and the TV. I think sitcoms are starting to make a comeback too, which is exciting. And,
now, you weren't always doing this. You were a police officer for a couple of 13 months?
Like less than 3 years. My two brothers, my dad and my sister were all cops, and I gave it a try, and I was not good.
No, not good.
Not good. I had very hard times writing people tickets. I would apologize, end up hugging them, and I'm
you
not
cried.
Yeah, I don't have that personality where I could write someone a ticket and just move on.
Yeah,
I'd go home at night like, oh my God, I wrote somebody an $80 ticket. How are they going to eat next week?
Gotcha. So you'd write a ticket and then offer them a bologna sandwich at least?
Something like that.
Yeah. So now, how did comedy begin for you?
Oh, I actually, this company I was working for sent me to this place called Dale Carnegie. It's a management training course I took. And I think it was there that I realized I had a really bad public speaking fear. I was really terrified. When you're in a classroom setting and they say, we're going to go around the classroom and everybody's going to stand up and you're going to say a little bit about yourself, who you are. Well, it was like two people away from me and I felt my heart pounding out of my chest. I'm like, this is a problem. And then I thought somebody was pulling on my pant leg when I finally got up and said, hi, I'm out. I thought somebody was pulling on my pants. And I looked down, it was my kneecaps were bouncing.
Wow.
So from there I went to Toastmasters, which is a great group. It's an international organization for public speaking. I went there, and next thing I know, I find myself at an open mic, and once I did my first show, it was all over. That was over 12 years ago. I
decided after producing those comedy shows, it was like 17 comics, everybody got 7 minutes, and then the winner got something awesome. Mm-hmm. That I was kind of chicken to do the same thing. So I ended up going to Stand Up University. I took the class with Rich Walker and Peter Bell. Yeah.
Well, that's how I started. I took the class.
You did?
And it's a great environment to be in because it's like an incubator. You're around all these. You feel safe.
You do.
And they help you develop your material, and then you get up on stage. And my first time on stage was the place was packed with all friends and family, and of course everything I said they screamed laughing, and I remember going to work. I was bouncing at a bar that night in Port Jefferson, which is like the same bar Kevin James used to bounce in, which I thought, oh, that means something. So I remember going to work that night being, I can't do this anymore, I'm a stand-up comedian. And then a week later I got a reality check when I went to my first open mic, and I did the same act for people that don't know me, and I just died. And it was when I got off stage, I said to myself, I want to make strangers laugh as hard as I made my family and friends laugh. And it took a while, but
how are you doing now?
Very well.
Good. So you're killing. You're doing all right.
I'm doing okay.
All
yes,
right. And
good.
so one of the things they taught me was set up, punch.
Right.
Right. You still use that formula a little bit, or you kind of off onto your own thing?
It's always set up, punch.
Okay.
And I mean, sometimes you'll see these comedians where they're storytellers, and you think that it's a different style, but what they're really doing, it's set up punch, but it's within the story, so you really can't even see it. It's really a skill to be able to tell a story and insert the setups and the punches without the audience realizing that's what's happening.
You're doing. Yeah. You know what? I just saw that recently. There was a guy named Fluffy. So you know Fluffy?
No.
There's a guy who was really funny, and he talked about the fact that he was in Magic Mike, the movie, and he talked about his behind the scenes story, and I thought it was really fascinating. So maybe you could YouTube him. I thought same thing though. Fluffy. he just did this really cool story, and at the end you're like, I found myself laughing because I laughed at something in life that really happened. Or David Brenner was a wonderful comic because he would take the headlines, right?
Yes.
And he still did set up punch, but he was like just kind of a storyteller. So, and I think so. How many minutes can you do on your own now?
I could probably do. I think I feel comfortable with like up to an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
It's interesting because sometimes they'll tell you to do 10 minutes, and you'll feel more nervous doing 10 minutes than you will an hour because you feel like, all right, I have 10 minutes. I got to get this material in this 10 minutes, and I got to hit him. When you're there for an hour, you feel like, all right, I'm hanging out with these people, and we're just gonna. This is my living room, and let's have a conversation.
You know, and one of the times that I did, God rest his soul, and I did get to talk to David Brenner, one of the things he taught me too is allowing them to breathe. You wanna be there and have an interactive experience with your audience, so it's symbiotic, so it kind of like flows.
Yes,
right.
Allow them to breathe.
Yes. So now you're not just doing stand-up comedy. You've also been doing some television, some film. Let's talk about that. And how did you get picked to do things like that?
Well, I started taking acting classes, which I started taking them because I wanted to help my comedy. I wanted to be more confident on stage. And what I didn't know was that I fell in love with acting. I fell in love with it, and I went to one of the best teachers in Manhattan, and she was tough. This lady, Joanna Bexon, a very tough teacher, but I learned what good acting was. And from that, I booked a few commercials, a couple TV spots. Next thing I know, I'm face to face with Al Pacino, doing a scene with him, which was interesting. That was the highlight of my life, probably. With Mr. Pacino, yeah. Yeah, little guy. I didn't expect him to be so little.
Well, Chris, how tall are you?
6'6".
Okay, so out at 6'6", just want to make an observation here. Yeah. At 6'6", most people are going to be shorter than you. Yeah. You're probably like the 1%ers. Yeah. But he's small. But his personality's huge.
Oh, what a nice man. Like, so nice. What a nice man. Doesn't take himself serious. I was joking around in between takes. Really nice man.
And you got SUV coming up, right?
Law and Order SUV, SVU.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's Special Victims Unit.
Yeah.
SUV is the thing you drive. But
nobody there. I don't know how to SUV. When I drive an SUV onto the set, and they go, "What are you doing here?" SVU. Yes. I do a scene. It's going to be with Whoopie Goldberg. I'm playing a security guard in a child protective place, and she's a social worker.
Great.
So it's a lot of fun.
Now, are you thinking about writing your own comedy? You going to write a sitcom for yourself?
I have a sitcom written. I have a screenplay written. I'm just waiting to hit. You know, you're waiting for that one thing where you hit, and then they say, "What else do you got?" And I go, "Oh, okay.
Right here.
I got this right here. I've been waiting."
No, I think that's going to happen soon.
And then they call you an overnight success. You're like,
yeah, 20 years in the making, right?
20 years. My wife and I go in a Coinstar with the change so we can get McDonald's for dinner.
You know what? It happens to all of us. Seriously, the other day, what did I want? I don't know, something from a drive-through, and I was like, oh wait, and I'm like, I ran into the trunk of the car, underneath the seats, underneath the floorboard.
Change.
You know, change. It's good.
That's a very humbling experience when you have to take a bag of change. And you go to the supermarket, that big machine, which is so noisy. And I don't know why I always feel like an ex-girlfriend's going to walk in and go, "Oh, you're doing really good for yourself."
I actually bought a washing machine, though. I had $800 of change one time. I went there with $800 of change. It was in this gigantic, like, water jug, you know, like a Poland Springs jug or whatever. Went there, poured it in. It kept cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
I was so like, loud.
$800. Got a washing machine. That was the best.
Impressive.
It was almost like getting a free washing machine.
Yeah.
So there you go. Clean comedy right here, right now, and live it up. So how can we find you?
My website, chrisroachlive.com, chrisroachlive.com. And I
Good thing it's not like chrisroachdead.com.
Yeah.
But live meaning like live performance, I guess.
Hey, I'm live.
I'm live.
chrisroachcomedy.com. I have, so my links are on there, and my tour dates, whatnot.
And they can go and they could find out about your Umbrella project, because that's probably up there too.
Yes, my short film that I wrote, and we filmed it, and I'm still paying for, called Umbrellas Kill. It was based on me. It was really happened. I was walking in Manhattan, and these people are walking on crowded city streets with golf umbrellas, and I got hit in the eye, and I was so aggravated that I ended up writing. I talked about it on stage. I remember sitting in a Starbucks writing, I wanted to expand on the topic. And I'm like, wait a second, this is starting to feel like a short film. And I just kept writing, and boom, Next thing you know, it turned into a little mockumentary.
There you go. Umbrellas kill.
Umbrellas kill.
So be careful, ladies and gentlemen, with those umbrellas.
Yes.
All right? You could really hurt somebody.
Yes.
All right? Save a life.
Yeah.
Be careful. Fold your umbrellas when it's not raining. Well, Chris, thank you for being here. I had a lot of fun as always.
Thank you for having me.
Right? And people can look for you not on not on SUV, but on SVU.
Yes, October 7th. Law and Order SVU.
Gotcha. Or they can go to your website, chrisroach.com.
chrisroachlive.com. Because chrisroach.com is a country singer. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, we don't know that, Chris Roach. All right, so chrisroachlive.com. Thanks for watching Live It Up. We hope you had a good time, and be careful with those umbrellas.
Yes.